Good morning, everyone. I welcome you to this exclusive session of Enhancing Your Communication Skills, hosted by Skill Rediscovery and Big Ladder. We have today wanting to talk to you about our new venture where we collab with Skills Rediscover. So before I start today's session, I would like you all to read this quote on your screen right now. No matter what job you have in life, your success will be determined 5% by your academic credentials, 15% by your professional experience, and 80% by your communication skills. This clearly shows that how vital and crucial communication skills are to your success. How many of you can today say that you have what makes you successful? How many of us can say that we have chosen the path to success and we are working on our communication skills? So every time I start this session on communication skills, I start with a small exercise. And it is on your screen right now. Quickly count the number of times that the letter F appears in the above sentence. Study combined with the experience of years. How many did you find? So please write down in the chat box and let me know how many did you find. Raise your hands. How many of you found 4? That's very interesting. Guys, anyone, did you find 5? Wow, we have at least 2 people who have found 2 5s in this sentence. Okay, friends, I want you to think again and let me tell you, there are 6 F's in this sentence. Let's revisit it again. Finished files are the result of years of scientific study combined with the experience of years. Yes, my friends, there are 6 F's in this exercise. So, are you surprised? Are you surprised that there are 6 F's in this exercise? Many of us, highly professional people, highly accomplished people, were able to find only 3 or 4. Let me tell you, even about 10 to 11 years back when I was presented this exercise, even I found 3. Because we left out a very simple, small word, and that word is off. From this, we learn 2 things. First, that there are small things that we miss out when we are going and doing something. Second thing is that we should stay focused. How did you find this exercise? Did you like that? Please comment on the chat box. I want it to be a very interactive session today. And I hope going further, let me introduce myself. I am Meeta Mathur, and I am a career and communication coach. I am a business strategist with an experience of over 25 years working nationally and internationally. By profession, I'm an exporter. Okay, but what I do now is I'm a founder of Big Ladder that deals in rebranding, training, and coaching strategies that help people achieve their fullest potential. I'm also an NLP practitioner, and that helps me coach my clients to communicate powerfully and deliberately to stand out from the crowd. So, and I'm also a certified NLP, a certified life coach, and I have helped numerous individuals to activate their success potential and overcome the obstacles or the challenges in their lives. So I'm very glad to announce that you can now find 𝐊𝐿 on the leading edge tech platform of skill rediscovery. Skill Rediscovery is a leading edtech company which provides you, which endeavors to bring together the learners and the trainers together on the same platform, so that with a huge variety of courses that you can do sitting at your home at your own pace, and you can book. It's a hybrid platform where you can book a live session with a coach of your choice, and you also have access to thousands and learning experiences as well. So coming back to the topic of transforming your lives through transforming your communication, I feel that communication is a vital ingredient to anyone's success. It makes you excel in your interpersonal skills. It makes you a better salesperson. It makes you a better negotiator, a crisis manager. It makes you a great leader, a great team player. So I, as an NLP practitioner and a life coach, I bring together both my learnings and coach people to have a better communication style and a communication which is focused more on a win-win situation for everybody involved. I learned that communication is vital to my success very early. In fact, in the first interview that I gave in Bombay at that time, and there was a huge board and a board of 4 or 5 people, and there were lots of questions, and then they finally said, one of the gentlemen said, "Ma'am, as a policy, we do not take women in the company." I said, "Why?" And he said, "Because they take too many leaves." So my answer was, "Sir, I will take leave, not because I'm a woman, but because I feel it's a prerogative of every employee." Soon I was in the company, and months down the line, that gentleman in fact confessed that, "Ma'am, that one answer showed your confidence, showed your skill in communication, your articulation, and that we had no choice but to take you." I became the first woman in the company, and down the line, 2 years later, I was the first person to give a presentation to no other than the Deputy Governors of Reserve Bank of India. That was huge for a 25-year-old. Those presentations were made by very senior executives, very senior finance executives in the company. But when it came to giving presentations, they said, no, ma'am, Meeta Mathur will do it. So success came to me because of my communication skills. And I advocate that everybody should work on this skill. This is a skill. This is not a genetic thing. This is not something that you're born with. You can train to be a better speaker. So how you can train? You can train by practicing more and more and more. And everyone practices. Tendulkar practices or Federer practices. And also, you can have a coach to master this skill. Both the masters, Tendulkar as well as Federer, have coaches, whereas one is god of cricket and the other is god of tennis, and still they need coaches. So I ask you, all my friends who have joined me today on Zoom as well as on YouTube, I ask you to write in the chat box, what is your methodology of practicing or of acquiring any skill? By that, I mean, whether it is communication skills or maybe guitar or maybe dance, whatever it is, how do you acquire that kind of a skill? Yes, okay. You practice with your friends. Wonderful. Yeah, and I have someone who says they practice in front of the mirror. Okay, somebody practices aloud. That is great. That is great to know. But dear friends, I would just like to elaborate on that. Yes, practicing with friends is good, but remember that they are your peer. They are your peer group. Okay, so their competencies is at par with your own. So they are not in a position to offer you any kind of feedback or any kind of criticism which can raise your bar. Similarly, if you are practicing with your parents or your siblings, again, they may not have that kind of qualification or training. Maybe they are judgmental, right? And if you are practicing in front of the mirror, friends, mirrors don't answer you back. They don't give you any feedback. They don't tell you what you may be doing wrong. And if you are practicing watching videos on the internet, then again, you watch a lot. There is a lot of gyan out there which you must watch. But again, it does not offer you any practice. So, like acquiring any skill that I have mentioned, whether it is in music, dance, theater, or a simple thing as speaking, you need a coach. You need somebody who can guide you, who can direct you, who can point you in the right direction. I hope you agree with me. And if you do, please write agree in the chat box. Moving ahead, we do at Big Ladder. We, as I am a life coach and I'm also an language, the language that you use, whether it is verbal or non-verbal, can affect your nerves, your brain, your way of thinking, and eventually your behavior. So we can program our language in a manner that we have a positive outcome with our thinking and behavior. And if you can do it for your own self, isn't it obvious that you influence other people in a positive behavior? So I bring the science, both these science together, and in the path of communication, and I coach students for public speaking, in the interpersonal skills, when negotiating, whether are salespeople, and I work with corporates and individuals as well. So I ask you, how many of you feel that proficiency in a language, in English, is important to have a good communication skill? Just write yes or no in the chat box. If you feel that English is important, write yes. If you feel not, then write no. Great, yes. Wow. Akshita, Kavishi, Devanshu, Samriddhi. Wow. Most of you have written yes. Okay. Out of so many yes, I find just one no. Okay. Hi, this is my personal opinion. I feel that, yes, English is important, but I feel that any language is just a medium of expression. How you express your body language, your tone is far more important than your words. In fact, it is said only 7% of what you speak is important. The rest is 35% is your tone, your intonation, and the rest is your body language. So it is not important that you speak in English or Hindi or any other regional language that you choose to, but how effectively and how influentially you are speaking, the way you are speaking, how you carry yourself. Okay, so all of this, the verbal and the non-verbal communication, is something that needs to be mastered. I ask you, why is it that so many people, in fact, about 75 to 80% people I have spoken to, feel that they find it very difficult to speak in public? What is that reason? I would like you to again write in your chat boxes, why is it that you find that speaking in public is so perfect? People will judge you. Lack of confidence. Oh, yes, they get conscious. Lack of confidence. Anxiety. Nervousness. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Please keep the answers coming. I would like to know the way you think, how you feel. Yes, lack of confidence arises from the anxiety, from the nervousness, from being felt that, yes, there are people who are going to judge me. They are going to judge me. So that is something, you know, really, really difficult, really something that you feel it stops you from being a better speaker, from being a powerful speaker. So what we are going to talk today is how to acquire that elusive confidence, that fearlessness to come on the stage and grab the mic and start speaking. Okay, so any soft skill trainer that you might find would say, why are you nervous? Why don't you have any confidence? What is so scary about coming on the stage? Okay, so they ask you not to be nervous, but do they ever teach you how to bring that confidence? It is not a capsule. No, it's not a magic wand. It's not a capsule that you can just have it and then you will have a lot of confidence. You have to work on it. You have to first understand that this fear in us is natural. Why is it natural? Because there is a fear hormone in everyone.
This
Anyone
meeting
who says
is
that
being
I am
recorded.
not fearful, anyone who says that I'm not fearful or I'm not scared is telling a lie, because every individual has that chemical, has that hormone. So that will be activated whenever they face some kind of a situation. Some people have it less and some people have it more. Okay, so understand and acknowledge that the first step is to acknowledge your fear. What I mean by that is, so when you are going up on the stage or even going and talking to your, you're in the conference hall or maybe giving a presentation to a group of 5 or 6, whenever you feel that anxiety coming up, whenever you feel that physical manifestation of this anxiety, the BP is going up, you're sweating, your palms are getting greasy, and your knees are fearful or you are scared or you are nervous, bring that out and do not let it spiral to a great extent. Then it will become such a huge elephant that you will not be able to push it out. When I say acknowledge, what I mean to say is that try to understand why this fear is coming and break it down into smaller pieces. See, if we are not able to diagnose this thing properly, we'll never be able to solve it. We'll never be able to have come out of it. So what I did, for example, like I'll just give you an example. Very recently, I was about a year back, I was invited to a national level HR convention where I was supposed to give a speech. I was number 2 or 3 in line, and since it was national level, there were a lot of photographers and lights and cameramen, and all their wires were laid out on the floor on the stage, laptops and mics and things. And I started to feel very nervous. I started to feel, oh God, what is going to happen? Will I be successful? Will I be able to do it? And I was again and again questioning myself, will I be able to do it? And I said, okay, stop, Meeta Mathur. What is happening to you? Why are you feeling so anxious? And slowly when I started to break down, break down the anxiety into smaller pieces, I understood that I was scared that maybe I will fall down, I'll trip on all these wires and I will make a fool of myself. So having brought it down to that exclusive point कि मुझे डर क्यों लग रहा है, I said, okay, fine. So I just picked out my phone and switched on the flashlight. And when my name was called, I walked using the flashlight very smartly without tripping on any wire. So maybe you are scared that you will forget your lines. So the answer is very simple. Make flashcards or make a small PPT which can actually guide you, which can cue you on your next points. You may feel that, like today, I was feeling that maybe this technology, so many things happening, I hope everything is good. So that was a certain nervousness, yes, that the technology should not fail me at this point. Now, that is very simple. Ask somebody to assist you or maybe check everything in advance, make proper arrangements. So you have to actually break down your anxiety and understand and do not make it, okay, I am scared. That is a general umbrella statement. And the second thing that I often use in all my sessions is pulled out of my NLP training, and that is called reframing. Now, reframing, when you reframe an old painting, it suddenly looks new. It suddenly looks different. Okay. Now, bringing it into our context, if I feel that speaking in public is a huge challenge, so what I do, I reframe it and I feel that, yes, this is an opportunity. So instead of saying that it is a challenge, I say this is an opportunity for me. I have reframed it. Now, suddenly, all those biological chemicals in my brain suddenly change. When I say it is a problem, it is a challenge, or it is an issue, I will have all kinds of negative chemicals and negative behavior. But when I say it is an opportunity, it is something that I'm looking forward to. I'm excited, I'm joyous, I'm grateful, and I'm happy, looking forward to it. I will have all my positive hormones in my head, and the anxiety will definitely move out of all of this. So what you need to do is reframe the situation using positive language. Okay, so every challenge needs to be reframed as an opportunity. Maybe you could reframe it as a conversation. Like, for example, I'm having a conversation with you. An interviewer is having a conversation with an interviewee. And when you are on the stage, you are having a conversation with the audience. Isn't that great? Isn't that great? Will that not change your entire scenario? It does for me. It does for so many of my clients. I use reframing for a lot of issues, for depression, for de-addiction, for anxiety, of course. So many issues I use this simple technique of reframing. It is so simple that doesn't it look so obvious? Okay, but before that, I also want to tell you that if I call it a conversation, how can I make it a conversation? How will you say that Meeta Mathur is having a conversation with me? How is it that I'm able to engage you? So I teach you 2-3 very simple techniques. Like, for example, you remember I started this session with a question. I asked you, how many F's can you find in this slide? That was a question. And question are dialogic in nature. It's a dialogue. You have to answer. And you answered really fast. And obviously you were engaged in what I was saying. We started to have a conversation. Okay. So you can make it, second point is maybe you could use it as, you could use inclusive language. Instead of saying you should do that, or you must do that, or or they are not doing this, or they are not doing this, use a simple pronoun we. We must do this. We must go ahead with this. We have a joint objective to in this organization. So when we use the word we, what I'm doing is I'm including myself with my audience, and this becomes inclusive, and this becomes a conversation instead of just pointing out at different people. So reframing your challenges as an opportunity or as a conversation is definitely going to help you. So I'm also going to share my third secret with you, and that is really funny, and you are obviously going to enjoy it. And this my third step helps you to be present in the moment. What I mean by being present in the moment is that be there when the event is happening. Don't think of the past, that I had ruined that opportunity, that this thing had happened with me in the past. Or don't think of far future, where what will happen if I forget my lines? What will happen if people are judging me? What will happen if people do not like me? What if I forget my lines? So don't think in the future, just be in the present. Now, could anybody just tell me what are some of the ways that you can be in the present moment? Simply write in the chat box what you feel is the right way. Is it possible to be present in the moment when things are happening and not think of the past and not think of the future? Is it possible? Is it possible for us to dissociate ourselves with the past and the future? Focus. Okay, it is not possible. All right. Focus more. Some people have said eye contact. Meditation. Yes. Wonderful. Oh, it is not possible to dissociate? Okay, so this is a simple trick, and it is so simple that you will really appreciate it, and it can be done by anyone. And yes, meditation, yes, very nice. Now meditation is something, you know, that you are just walking up the stage, or maybe you're just entering the interviewer's room. Is it possible to meditate at that time? Take deep breaths. Yes, wonderful, very good. So yes, so take deep breaths, yes, and try to focus on what is the present moment. And how can you do that? It is very easy to say, focus in the present moment. It is very easy to say. You know, some people I know, like for example, some cricketers I know, what they do is they start singing loud. When you're singing loud, you are not thinking of the past, you're not thinking of the future, and you are concentrating on your singing. Okay, but again, you're walking into the interviewer's room, you can't start singing, that would be too funny. So what I do, and this I learned in my theater days and from my theater gurus, is that I start speaking tongue twisters, okay, in my head, okay, not out loud. So it could be something like Betty bought some butter, and the butter was so bitter that she bought some more butter to make it better. Now this one I have already mastered, so it doesn't become a challenge for me. So what I do is I always try to find more and more challenging tongue twisters to say, so that I am so focused in saying those tongue twisters that I cannot think of anything else. Okay, like for example, slit the sheet. The sheet I slit. Do not focus. There'll be two ऊंट ऊंचा, कुछ पीठ ऊंची, कुछ ऊंची ऊंट की पीठ. See, it is so difficult for me to say without, you know, stopping. And if I say really fast, I really have to focus that much. It also helps me to open my voice, you know, in theater, to warm up your voice. So this is a very beautiful technique. Recently, because I'm not very good at maths, so what I do is I start saying tables of 27 or maybe 51, or I start counting, subtracting backwards, 100 minus 23, so 77 minus 23. So if I start doing that, then I need to focus so much on that mathematical thing that I cannot think of the past and neither can I think of the future. That makes me so present. And all of these exercises, I can do it in my head, right? And nobody gets to know what I'm doing. That really helps me to be in that moment, to focus in that moment. And my anxiety, my nervousness, my fear, they just fly away. I don't know what they are. I have a lot of such practical techniques that I can teach, I can train students, and they have worked wonders in my experience. And there are lots of successful clients out there who say that, yes, these are amazing techniques. So here at Big Ladder, you do not get a lot of gyan. You actually get a lot of practical tips and you get a lot of practice. Now, having done that, we also work on your non-verbal communication skills, which is your body language, your eye contact, your hands, your palm, the way you stand, to have a fiery stature, your spine position, and we work on all of that. We work on what you would wear, how would you carry your files and things, and how would you address all the people in the gathering. Okay. We also work on how to evaluate your audience. Several NLP techniques we have which can be used in this. We work on your internal beliefs. As a life coach, I feel that if you do not transform your belief pattern, you will not be able to come with the required outcomes. Now, coming to how you can actually frame your entire conversation, how you can actually start writing or you start speaking without practice. So my objective is to train my clients in a manner that whenever at any extempore or any spontaneous event, when they are given a mic, they are able to speak without practice. So that is the kind of confidence I instill in my clients, that they can now get up and speak on any topic without even practicing earlier on. So what I do is I give them a couple of very useful structures. Structures are so beautiful because if you have a formula, you can use it anywhere. You know, it is like a principle. A principle like, for example, let's talk of gravity. Now, gravity is everywhere, whichever country, whichever continent, whichever part of the day, when it is, whatever season it's raining or hot or it is very cold, the gravity remains the same. The principle does not change. So I aim to arm my clients in a manner that they are so sure of these communication skills principles that they can use it at any given situation, at any given point. So the kind of structure that I give them, the first structure I call PSB, which is the problem, solution, benefit structure. So whatever topic you are given, whether it is, say, for example, women's right or child labor or the political situation in the country or maybe the economical condition of the country, whatever it is. So PSB is problem, solution, benefit. So you talk of, initially when you get up on the stage, you talk first of the problem that is on hand. Then you explain the solution that you offer. And finally, you talk of the benefit to the larger good of either the organization or the society or the country, and conclude. So when you have structures, it sets you free. You know how you have to, your train of thought and how you are going to place your words, how you're going to speak. So everything is sorted. Okay, one of the other structures that I really like is what, so what, now what. So what is the issue we have at hand? So what happens with this issue? And going forward, what can we do? Now what? So there are several such practical structures that I have that I train my clients and to set them free from overthinking and getting themselves into that anxiety spiral. Yes, if we have time, we could probably think of more, or maybe what I feel is that we could, address some questions if we have in the chat box, and we can go ahead, and that would be very interactive, and that would be very interesting. If whatever queries that you might have, I would love to answer them. I encourage you, I welcome you to please write it in the chat box, and let's talk of it. So, what you could probably do is you could, visit the website of Skill Rediscovery, enroll yourself into your choice of course, and work on your skills. And there are so many things there. Okay, we have a question here, and the person says, 1 second, yeah, just wait a second. I am 40 years old. Can I also learn effective communication? Wonderful, and I love your enthusiasm, sir. And yes, any person, it's a skill. It is an acquired skill. It is not a genetic thing. It is not something that you're born with. Nobody is born with these skills. A child starts learning only at the age, learning language only by the age of 1.5 or 2. So if that is there, you can learn at any age. Learning has no age. Definitely, if you get a good coach, if you get the correct direction, I'm sure you can learn at any age, whether you are 40 or you are 80. Please feel positive and feel confident that you can learn at any age. Lovely. I hope I have answered. Can I learn without preparation? Yes, that is my endeavor. That is my motive, my objective. Is that every time you are handed a mic or every time there is an opportunity, see there 80% of the time you will have a situation where you are not given enough time to prepare. There is very little time that your annual, review, or maybe there is some kind of an occasion happening where you are given a time to actually work on your presentation. But mostly it is always spontaneous, and that is my endeavor, that is my vision, that is what I do. I train my students in a manner that they are comfortable to speak in front of large gathering, large crowds without preparation. That is what I do. And how I do it is I help them manage their anxieties, understand their audience, understand the purpose behind their communication, give them solid structures that can help them speak. That is what I do. I have another question here. I just finished my 3rd year and soon my placement will start. Do you have any tips on how students can crack their interviews? Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Definitely. One point I have is Tavishi Singh. I hope I pronounced your name correctly. Your name is beautiful. This is the first time I've heard this name. Lovely name. So coming back to the answer is that Tavishi, what we interview is, again, as I said, it is a conversation. Firstly, we have to understand why there is an interview. What is the purpose of this interview? And how is it that we can, how is it that, what is the psychology behind asking all these questions by the audience, by your interviewer? So if we understand the questions, see, like for example, tell me something about yourself. Now, 99% time, any interview starts this way. So if you have written everything on your CV and that CV is with them, why is it that they're asking you this question? Your entire autobiography is in front of them. They want to know because they want to see your attitudes, your aspirations, your communication skill, and that is what you have to bring it out. So, Tavishi, I would suggest that please look at the conversation from the other person's point of view, understand what the interviewer is asking and what is his objective of asking that question. That will definitely help you. How is skill rediscovery different from other edtech platforms? And Arya is asking that question. Arya, that is a superb question. See, there are, in this digital time, in this time of online onslaught of everything, how skill rediscovery is different is that firstly, it is a hybrid platform, which means that not only can you have access to all recorded trainings, but you also have an opportunity to book your sessions with coaches, and they can train you like I'm talking to you right now, and they will talk to you on screen, and they will help you sort your problems, your issues, and this is the kind of live opportunity you can have with your coaches. And nowhere else you have this kind of an opportunity. Second is that skill rediscovery offers you an entire gamut of courses. It is not only your hobby classes, or it is about dancing. It teaches you a lot of foreign languages like Russian and French and Japanese. It also teaches you a lot of courses in the computer science, in the digital science. And I request you, Arya, to please go on their website, visit it themselves, or maybe you could book a session with one of our counselors. That would be wonderful. Ma'am, what is the right way to prepare for the job interviews? From YouTube. Okay. Now, if you are preparing from the YouTube, there are thousands of videos available, and they give you very good advice. Now that advice is so much that you can take. But now what happens is when you are on the hot seat, see, it is called a hot seat for a reason, because it gives you so much pressure, so much nervousness and anxiety to perform. So when you are sitting on the hot seat, how are you going to use all of those? So what happens is you need somewhere where you can practice. And I suggest and I request all of you out there that practice more and more. Practice with people who are above your competency level, so that they can offer you constructive criticism. Take criticism in the most positive way and try to use it in a manner that will benefit you. So please go out there, find yourself a good coach, a good mentor, or a good trainer. And I hope I answered you. I'm looking for some more questions. How can NLP, okay, wow, that is a very good question out there. How can NLP benefit us, or benefit in the art of communication? NLP, as you perhaps know, is the neuro-linguistic program, okay? Which means that all of us, all the people on the planet are programmed to behave in a certain manner because of all their internal and external communication happening. We are constantly talking to ourselves. There is so much chatter in our head. I'm going to get late, I'm going to ruin my program, and the technology might fail me, or what if there are no people to listen to me? What if they don't like me? There are so many things happening in our head. Similarly, there are so many things that are happening externally to us. Today, you and me may see the same thing, have the same visual stimulus, but both of us will be thinking differently. For example, let's take the example of bungee jumping. There are two people. There's Meeta Mathur and there's some ex. So Meeta Mathur sees bungee jumping. She is so scared. I will never do it. I will never do it. Why is it that when we see the same thing, we are thinking in two different ways? That is because all of us are wired in different manners. All of us have certain beliefs that we find are real. They are all in our head. They are all imaginary. They are not real, but they become our universe. They become the right things for us. So each of us, whenever we get an external stimulus, we delete some, we distort some, and sometimes we generalize a lot of things, and they become our internal beliefs, and eventually they become our behavior. So when you come to us and I combine my life coaching with my NLP training, I understand what is your internal beliefs that are limiting you from achieving your potential. So first we work on your limiting beliefs. First we remove all these anxieties or all these pressure points that you have in your head. And then we start giving you the kind of tips and guidance that can help you to create a powerful and a determined communication style. So this is how NLP helps you to better not just communication, your relationships, your viewpoints, your confidence, your motivation, and a whole lot of things. So I'm currently working just on communication. And yes, do we have more questions? What is the right way? Okay, I think, dealt with all the questions maybe. Speaking extempore on a certain topic, is it possible? Yes, Neha, I'm sorry for not taking up this question earlier. Yes, Neha, it is certainly possible. As I said, 80% of the time you are faced with a situation where you have to give spontaneous speeches. You suddenly have to, they grab a mic. Okay, some simple things. You are in a party and somebody says, okay, what do you do? And not many people, okay, I am so-and-so, and what do? I am an exporter. Now, that is such an incomplete communication. That does not say anything about you, about your attitudes, about your personality. It doesn't say anything at all. So simple things as going to a party, talking to people, or maybe talking to someone in the lift, or maybe someone talking to the fund managers or venture capitalists, or if you have started a startup, you will be giving startup presentations. So there's so many situations where you have to suddenly get up and speak. Yes, it is possible. First, manage your anxiety. Second, be careful about your tone and volume. Third, be present in the way of a good, positive body language that exudes confidence, that exudes enthusiasm, that exudes the kind of image that you want to portray. And fourth, structures that I teach will help you in creating the strings of words that will help you in communicating better. I hope, Neha, I have answered you. And yes, we have to prepare and practice. You have to have a lot of mock practices with people in the know, with your coaches and mentors. And that is how you become, I will not say perfect, but yes, this is how you become good in your public speaking endeavors. Neha says, thank you. Yes, Neha, you are most welcome. Any other question that you might have, or and you have what you could do perhaps is you could, after this program, if you have any questions in your head, please feel free to contact Skills Rediscovery or Big Ladder. We are available on all platforms, whether it's Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, and you could visit our website and you can ask more questions out there. We are always, all the coaches and counselors are always available to you to answer any questions that you might have. Yeah, Swati, you have a question? Swati has raised her hand. And we have another question, ma'am. Any suggestions for university entrance interview after 12? And that is coming from Ishwar. Okay, Ishwar, after 12, any interview, whether it is after 12th or whether it is after your graduation or post-graduation, is a very important point. And especially after 12. Why I say this is because this is the first interview a child actually faces. Now what happens if he is able to do this interview really well? He will have a lot of confidence. So if you have a precedence of success, you will always feel confident doing it later on. So if I'm baking a cake for the first time and that cake comes out really well, I will be encouraged to bake more cakes. But if I spoil this cake and this cake is not very good, then I will be very scared to bake a cake next time. So it is imperative, 𝐿𝑰, that this first interview for a 12th standard child be very good. So we need that person to understand the importance of practice, understand the importance of understanding what the interviewer is asking. Okay, now there is a purpose behind asking a question. Recently somebody had asked me how to prepare, and I said, okay, if somebody is asking you, tell me about yourself. What is that person actually intending? That person is intending to understand your confidence level, your communication level, and your articulation. So this is we have to understand the purpose behind every question. Okay, so person needs to really prepare for it. Yes, Swati, you have raised your hand. If there is something I can answer. Yes, is proficiency in English an important factor for public speaking? Swati is asking. Swati, in my experience, I in North India have been here for the nearly 20 years now. I have been giving more speeches in Hindi than in English. I am asked to, whether it is flag hoisting on 26 January, whether it is addressing school students, or whether I'm speaking on TV or to the press, to the media. So many times I'm always speaking in Hindi. So as I said, Swati, any language is only a medium. Only a medium, only a vehicle that will carry you from A to B. When you have to go from A to B, it is just your travel. It is not how you go. You could go by an aeroplane, you could go by a train or a bus. So it is just a medium. Although having proficiency in any language is good. So one must strive to have the command over Hindi, over English, or over any other regional language or a foreign language that you choose to express yourself. So I definitely differ in this, that yes, English is the most important language. I totally differ in that. It is not. I hope I have answered this question. So you do not need to be nervous कि मुझे English नहीं आती है, मैं नहीं बोल पाती हूँ, या मैं I'm stuttering in that. No. If your ideas are powerful, if you're able to communicate them powerfully, you will create a definite impact on other people's opinions and other people's ideas. So be confident and speak in any language that you wish. I think we are coming to the close of Swati says thank you. Thank you, Swati, for asking such a wonderful question. We are almost coming to the end of the session. If there are any other quick questions in a minute or two, if we could do it, and we will need to say goodbye then. Any other questions that you might have? All right. Yes, so we have said that it is a skill. It is not something genetic. You can totally and completely learn it at any age. You can learn it by getting yourself a coach or a mentor, or by looking at a lot of videos that are available on the internet. We have already discussed, yes, that the language is not the important factor. It is how you express yourself, how confident you appear in your opinion. See, it is very important that you exude confidence in your ideas, because, for example, if you go to a doctor, okay, and your doctor is not confident, he says, "Ha, ye bhi ho sakta hai, wo bhi ho sakta hai. This can also happen, that can also happen. You can do this, you can do that." You feel, okay, is this person, does this person even know what he is saying? But definitely you are impressed by a confident doctor. So it is important that when you are speaking, you should be able to exude the confidence, not only by your words, but also by your entire non-verbal communication. Okay, we have also spoken about how to manage your anxiety. I gave you lots of tips on managing the anxiety, and I have also given you tips on how to structure your speeches. So I look forward to more questions, more interaction, and I look forward to joining you again next week with more such tips on communication skills. Meanwhile, I leave you now with this one thought that be confident, transform your communication, and transform your life. Stay inspired. Until then, meet you again very soon.